You could be damaging your liver every single day without even knowing it. Aging makes it more vulnerable, and the effects are silent until it's too late. But there are natural ways to restore its strength, and they start with one surprising change. Imagine waking up every morning feeling just a little more tired than the day before. You chalk it up to aging, stress, or a bad night of sleep. But what if I told you that something deeper, quieter, and far more important might be happening inside your body? Something that doesn't make noise, doesn't cry for help, but that influences your energy, digestion, immune system, and even your mood. I'm talking about your liver, and how time, silently and gradually, makes it more vulnerable than you might imagine. Most people think of the liver only when it comes to alcohol or serious diseases. But the truth is, the liver is your body's ultimate multitasker. It detoxifies, filters, stores nutrients, balances hormones, and even plays a role in maintaining healthy cholesterol and blood sugar levels. Now here's the surprising part. As you age, your liver doesn't just slow down a bit. It actually begins to lose its resilience. The same foods, habits, and medications you tolerated at 25 can start to wreak silent havoc by the time you hit 45 or 50, and you may not even know it. Your liver wasn't designed to keep up with modern life's relentless pace. Heavily processed meals, sugary snacks, medications for every little ache, and environmental toxins all contribute to a slow but steady overload. Over time, this burden begins to chip away at your liver's natural defenses. The scary thing? Many symptoms go unnoticed until real damage has been done. That chronic fatigue, the brain fog that just won't lift, the stubborn belly fat you can't lose no matter what you try. These could all be subtle signs that your liver is waving a quiet red flag. But here's where things get interesting. There are actions you can take right now to help protect your liver, improve its function, and regain energy, focus, and vitality. Small changes in your routine can have a profound impact, especially if you start before the damage sets in. And I'm going to guide you through every step of that process. Still, there's one more reason to stick with me until the end. I've saved something special for the final moments of this journey. It's a powerful tip that almost no one talks about, yet it can significantly enhance the natural healing of your liver. Simple, inexpensive, and often overlooked, it may be the missing piece in your health puzzle. But before we get there, let's uncover why your liver becomes more vulnerable with age. Because understanding the process is the key to reversing its effects. And knowing what to do next might just change how you feel every single day. We live in a culture where popping a pill for a headache or heartburn is second nature, where meals come from a box and are heated in a microwave, where sugary drinks are more accessible than water, and where rest often comes last. This lifestyle, although common, slowly dulls your liver's ability to keep you protected. The liver is remarkably strong, but it's not invincible. And when it starts to lose that silent battle, it does so quietly. You may feel off, but not sick, tired, but not sure why. And that's precisely why we need to pay attention. Because the earlier we support the liver, the better chance we have of restoring its strength. And here's something many people don't know. The liver is one of the few organs in the human body that can regenerate. That's right. Even if it's been weakened, overburdened, or partially damaged, it can recover if given the right conditions. So this isn't about fear, it's about power. The power to take control of your health. The power to give your body what it truly needs. The power to feel like yourself again, or maybe even better than you've felt in years. That power starts with knowledge. And as we go deeper, you'll discover not only what's been silently wearing down your liver, but also how to rebuild it naturally, without extreme diets, expensive supplements, or complicated routines. Because once you understand what time is doing inside your body, you can choose what happens next. And that choice can be the turning point between chronic fatigue and vibrant energy, between frustration and freedom. Now, pay close attention to the next step. The insight you're about to learn is one of the most overlooked yet crucial reasons why the liver loses its strength as we age. If ignored, it doesn't just slow your progress, it may reverse it. Worse, it could open the door to side effects that go far beyond fatigue or bloating. This next insight might just be the most important health information you hear today. Few people realize that the liver is deeply impacted by the passing of time. It's not just about getting older. It's about the cumulative weight of decades of exposure. The liver, resilient as it is, begins to change in ways that often go unnoticed, and the consequences can reach far beyond what most imagine. As the body ages, the liver gradually loses some of its regenerative power. This is natural, but what makes it dangerous is how silently it happens. The enzymes that break down toxins begin to slow. The blood flow through the liver becomes less efficient. Fat can start to accumulate even in those who appear thin on the outside. It's called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and it's becoming more common, not just in older adults, but even in middle-aged individuals who've lived with stress, poor sleep, processed foods, and minimal physical activity. And then comes the shocker. Most people with early-stage liver dysfunction show no symptoms at all. That's right. You could have decades of gradual, low-level inflammation building up without a single obvious sign. No pain, no fever, nothing to warn you. But deep inside, your liver may be struggling to keep up. This silent stress becomes even more intense when medications are involved. Think about it. Over-the-counter pain relievers, common antacids, blood pressure pills, all of them need to be processed by the liver. While a younger liver can usually manage the load, an aging one begins to struggle. And when it does, the buildup isn't just in the liver, it spreads throughout the body. The result? Chronic fatigue, skin that loses its glow, brain fog that makes it harder to focus, digestive discomfort that never seems to fully resolve, a weakened immune response, even poor sleep. These are not just signs of aging. They are whispers from a liver that needs support. But there's more. Scientific studies now show that the liver's mitochondrial function, the part responsible for turning nutrients into usable energy, also declines with age. That means you can be eating well and still feel drained. Your cells are not producing energy efficiently. And if the liver is congested with fat, inflammation, or toxins, this process becomes even less effective. Now think of how many people try to push through fatigue with coffee, sugary snacks, or energy drinks. In doing so, they often compound the problem, forcing the liver to process yet more chemicals, more sugar, more stimulants. It's like asking a tired worker to do overtime without a break. So what can be done? It begins with reducing the hidden load, and for that, we must look at the foods and habits we often take for granted. Many North American staples, from breakfast cereals to bottled salad dressings to that mid-afternoon soda, contain high fructose corn syrup, artificial preservatives, and inflammatory fats. Over time, these ingredients create a low-grade toxic environment that forces the liver into constant cleanup mode. But here's the good news. Even an aging liver has the potential to rebound. By removing or reducing some of these hidden stressors and adding in liver-supportive foods, the process of regeneration can begin. Leafy greens like arugula and dandelion, cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and cauliflower, and spices such as turmeric and ginger can play a powerful role. They help boost bile production, reduce inflammation, and support detoxification. Hydration is another underestimated factor. Many people over 40 walk around mildly dehydrated, which thickens the blood and reduces liver efficiency. Simply increasing clean water intake and cutting out sugary drinks can bring relief in just days. Also, consider how meal timing affects liver health. Eating late at night gives the liver less time to focus on detox. Allowing a 12-hour overnight window between dinner and breakfast can improve its performance significantly. None of this is extreme. It's about understanding what's happening inside your body and responding with care. It's about replacing reaction with intention. Because the truth is, the liver doesn't need heroic efforts. It needs consistent support, small, intelligent decisions, natural rhythms, and respect for the work it does without asking for applause. But here's something you must understand. No matter how good your food choices are, if you make one common mistake in the way you combine or prepare them, all that effort might go to waste. And even worse, it might create new stress for your liver instead of relief. That's why the next step is so critical. It holds one of the most misunderstood principles of liver care, and not knowing it might be the reason why so many people, even when trying their best, see little to no improvement. Ignore it, and you may be left feeling stuck, but embrace it, and everything begins to change. Even when people try to take better care of their liver, They often miss a hidden enemy that quietly undermines their progress. Daily habits that seem harmless, even healthy on the surface. These patterns are so common that they rarely raise suspicion. But over time, they can overload your liver, making recovery slower and signs of vitality harder to achieve. Let's start with breakfast. In many North American homes, it begins with convenience: boxed cereal, toast with jam, flavored yogurt, or a tall glass of orange juice. It sounds fine, quick, easy, and tasty. But here's what happens inside your body: a sharp spike in blood sugar, followed by a crash. This metabolic roller coaster puts pressure on the liver to manage that excess glucose and convert what isn't used into fat. If this cycle happens daily, it contributes to insulin resistance and eventually to fatty liver buildup. Next comes the mid-morning coffee run. It seems innocent. Just a latte or a cold brew with flavored syrup and maybe a pastry on the side. But the hidden sugars, artificial sweeteners, and refined flours are yet another burden. While the caffeine gives you a burst of energy, your liver is left with the task of breaking down chemical additives and stabilizing your blood sugar again. Lunch often doesn't offer much relief. Highly processed deli meats, white bread, dressings loaded with preservatives, and soft drinks or sweet teas turn the midday meal into another metabolic challenge. These foods are often rich in omega-6 fats, which promote inflammation when consumed in excess. Your liver becomes the battlefield where these inflammatory compounds accumulate. Even snacks marketed as healthy can cause trouble. Granola bars, protein shakes with artificial ingredients, fruit juices labeled as natural but containing concentrated fructose. They all contribute to a toxic environment that the liver must work overtime to detoxify. And it doesn't stop there. Dinner is typically the heaviest meal of the day. In many households, it includes red meat, fried sides, and high-carb staples like mashed potatoes or pasta. Then, to unwind, a glass of wine, a beer, or a sweet dessert. This routine may be comforting, but it often leads to late-night eating, which interferes with the liver's detox cycles during sleep. The pattern repeats daily, and while none of these habits seem extreme on their own, they collectively create a slow storm inside your body. The liver never gets a break, and what's more concerning, we don't even feel it happening. This is the danger of the invisible load. It's not just about toxins in the environment or heavy metals in the water. It's the regular, everyday choices that quietly build up into liver congestion, fat accumulation, and chronic inflammation. But there's something even more subtle at play: the emotional stress that comes with modern life. Your liver is sensitive to cortisol, the hormone released during stress. Long hours at work, poor sleep, screen time late at night, constant notifications, these increase cortisol, which can weaken the liver's ability to regulate hormones and detoxify effectively. So how do we begin to reverse this invisible damage? It starts with awareness, knowing that not all so-called healthy options are helping, that habits passed down for generations might be outdated, and that feeling tired or bloated isn't something to normalize. Then come the small shifts, swapping refined grains for whole ones, choosing real, whole foods over anything boxed or pre-flavored, eating earlier in the evening, taking a walk instead of watching another episode, managing stress with breathing, stretching, or simply stepping outside. None of these require drastic change, but their impact is deep. Even something as simple as reading labels can be transformative. Many store-bought foods contain high fructose corn syrup, hydrogenated oils, and sodium benzoate, all of which put strain on your liver's detox systems. By choosing products with fewer, cleaner ingredients, you reduce that daily burden. Supporting your liver isn't about perfection. It's about giving it space to do what it's designed to do. And it does that best when it's not constantly under attack. What you remove from your routine matters just as much as what you add. You don't need expensive superfoods or exotic herbs to start. Just protecting your liver from repeated daily harm is already a powerful form of healing. But now comes the turning point, because avoiding harm is only half the story. The next step is where everything changes. It's where you begin to activate your liver's natural regenerative power, and this is where real transformation begins. The tip you're about to learn is not only effective, it's also one of the most researched and respected strategies in natural liver support. Ignoring it could delay your progress and prolong symptoms. But when done right, it can unlock a new level of energy, clarity, and well-being that you may have forgotten was even possible. When people finally decide to support their liver, the first instinct is often to add something new to their routine. A supplement, a detox tea, a trendy superfood. And while some of these additions can be helpful, what really makes the difference is learning how to work with the body, not against it. The liver is already trying to heal. What it needs most is cooperation. One of the most inspiring things about the liver is its ability to regenerate. Unlike most organs, it can rebuild itself from damage if given the right environment. That means even if you've spent years unknowingly overloading it, there is still hope, real, tangible hope for renewal. And that healing begins with natural support that is as practical as it is powerful. Let's begin with food, because what you eat becomes the raw material for your liver to function. Dark leafy greens, such as dandelion, arugula, and spinach, are rich in chlorophyll and bitter compounds that stimulate bile flow. Bile is essential for breaking down fats and flushing out toxins. When bile flow is sluggish, toxins stay in the body longer than they should. Cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and cauliflower contain sulfur compounds that help activate liver enzymes responsible for detoxification. These foods not only protect the liver, but also help it perform more efficiently. Including them regularly can make a measurable difference in how your body feels and processes food. Beets are another powerful ally. Their natural pigments, called betalains, support the liver's phase 2 detox pathway. This pathway is critical for converting fat-soluble toxins into water-soluble ones so they can be safely eliminated. Drinking beet juice or including roasted beets in meals can gently stimulate this process. Then there's turmeric, often called the golden spice. Curcumin, its active compound, has been shown in studies to reduce liver inflammation, support bile production, and protect liver cells from damage. Adding turmeric to soups, teas, or smoothies can deliver noticeable benefits, especially when paired with black pepper, which increases curcumin absorption. But herbs and spices are just the beginning. Hydration plays an equally vital role. Without enough water, your liver can't effectively transport toxins out of the body. And yet, many people forget to drink water consistently. Replacing 1 or 2 sugary or caffeinated drinks each day with clean filtered water can improve liver efficiency in just a matter of days. Sleep is another silent healer. The liver performs its deepest detoxification between 11 p.m. and 3 a.m. If you're still awake during that window, especially under artificial light, you may be interfering with this vital process. Creating a sleep ritual that helps you wind down earlier can support the liver in ways that no supplement ever could. Movement is also part of the equation. You don't need intense workouts to benefit the liver. Gentle physical activity, like walking, stretching, or yoga, improves circulation and helps the lymphatic system carry waste products away. This, in turn, reduces the liver's burden. When all of these practices are combined, nutrient-dense food, hydration, rest, and movement, they create a foundation where the liver can begin to repair. This is the opposite of a quick fix. It's slow, steady, and deeply effective. There's also emotional health. Repressed anger, frustration, and chronic stress can affect liver function. Traditional systems of medicine have long made this connection, and modern research is starting to catch up. Practices like journaling, breathwork, and spending time in nature don't just feel good. They support physiological balance that includes the liver. So if you've ever felt stuck or frustrated, as if nothing you do is working, remember this. The liver is constantly trying to help you, even when you can't feel it. Every thoughtful choice you make brings it closer to balance. Every skipped sugary drink, every mindful meal, every hour of restful sleep, they all matter more than you think. There is no magic pill, but there is a magic process. And that process is built on consistency, intention, and respect for the body's natural rhythms. Healing becomes possible not because you do everything perfectly, but because you stop working against yourself and begin working with the systems already designed to protect you. Still, even with all these powerful strategies, one common mistake can undo much of your progress. A simple error in the way foods are combined or prepared can reduce their effectiveness, or worse, add unnecessary strain to an already burdened liver. This next insight is one of the most misunderstood steps in liver care, and yet it makes all the difference. Without it, even the healthiest ingredients might lose their healing potential. But once you understand this step, you unlock a level of support that helps your liver truly thrive. Many people do the right things. They eat more greens, drink more water, get better sleep, and even start moving their body again. But for some reason, they still feel stuck. Their energy doesn't improve. Their digestion remains sluggish. That stubborn feeling of heaviness or fog doesn't quite go away. And the question that begins to echo in their mind is, why? The answer often lies not in what they're doing, but in how they're doing it. You see, the body isn't just a collection of isolated systems. It's a complex, interconnected network that thrives on synergy. And nowhere is this more important than in the way we combine and prepare our foods. Imagine taking the most nutrient-rich ingredients in the world and pairing them in ways that cancel each other out. That's what happens when we unknowingly combine foods that compete for digestion or disrupt the liver's natural flow. It's not about fear. It's about understanding the science of how your body works best. Let's take a common example. A morning smoothie. You load it up with fruits, some leafy greens, maybe a scoop of protein powder, and a splash of juice. It sounds healthy, but for many people, that high concentration of fruit sugars combined with slow digesting proteins can spike blood sugar, slow digestion, and cause bloating. Your liver has to regulate the sugar while also managing the metabolic load of protein synthesis. It's like giving it two complex tasks at once and asking it to perform perfectly under pressure. Or think about salads drenched in creamy store-bought dressings. You're trying to nourish your liver with raw vegetables, but those dressings are often filled with inflammatory oils, preservatives, and hidden sugars. So instead of supporting detox, you're forcing your liver to process another wave of chemical ingredients. And cooking methods matter too. Frying garlic and onions until they're golden brown might taste amazing, but overcooking these sulfur-rich vegetables reduces their liver-supporting compounds. On the other hand, lightly steaming or gently sautéing can preserve the nutrients your liver needs. Portion size and timing also influence liver function. Eating a massive meal late at night, even if it's full of healthy foods, forces your liver to work overtime when it should be resting and repairing. That means undigested food lingers in the system longer, slowing detox pathways and causing more stress. Even hydration can be mistimed. Drinking large amounts of water during meals dilutes stomach acid, making digestion less efficient and putting pressure on the liver to compensate. Sipping water between meals, however, supports gentle detox and keeps the system running smoothly. There are also combinations that enhance each other. Lemon juice with leafy greens boosts the absorption of iron. A pinch of black pepper with turmeric increases its bioavailability by up to 2,000%. Cooking tomatoes with a touch of olive oil helps release more lycopene, a powerful antioxidant that supports liver health. The point isn't to complicate your meals or create fear around food. It's to become more intentional. When you learn how to prepare and pair ingredients in harmony with your body, you get more from every bite. More nutrients, more energy, more healing. Sometimes, what seems like a plateau is actually a signal. It's your body telling you that your effort is good, but it could be smarter. And once you align your meals with the way your liver prefers to function, the change can feel almost immediate. Imagine starting your day with warm water and lemon to stimulate bile flow. Then, having a light breakfast of steamed vegetables and healthy fats. A lunch that includes beets and bitter greens. A dinner finished by sunset with herbs that calm the body. These choices might seem small, but they work with your circadian rhythm and your liver's natural detox cycles. And there's one final insight to carry forward. Healing is cumulative. The little choices build upon each other. No effort is wasted unless it goes against your biology. So if you've been doing everything right but still feel off, look again. Are your healthy foods working together or working against each other? Are your meals timed with intention? Are you giving your liver not just the tools to heal, but the right environment to use them? Now, it's time to bring all this knowledge to life, because the next step is where it all comes together. It's the moment where we stop thinking in theory and start acting with clarity, where we reveal the simplest, most effective way to activate your liver's full potential, with a method that not only works, but also empowers you every single day. What you're about to learn is the cornerstone of this entire journey. Overlook it, and your progress may stall, but apply it, and everything you've done so far will finally start to pay off in a way you can feel. There is something deeply empowering about discovering that the answers you've been looking for are often simple, natural, and already within your reach. After all the changes, the awareness, and the adjustments, what your liver truly needs is a consistent method, something that brings together everything you've learned into a daily, practical practice. This is where preparation becomes the key to transformation, because the same food can either heal or harm depending on how it's handled. The secret lies not just in what you eat, but in how you bring it to life on your plate. Let's begin with one of the most effective combinations for liver regeneration: beet, lemon, turmeric, and black pepper. Each of these ingredients has powerful individual benefits. Beets cleanse the blood and support phase 2 detox pathways. Lemon stimulates bile production and alkalizes the body. Turmeric reduces inflammation and protects liver cells. Black pepper amplifies the absorption of turmeric, ensuring your body can use it fully. But simply tossing these into a juicer or blender isn't enough. The true power of this recipe is unlocked when it's prepared and consumed the right way. Start with fresh, raw beetroot. Wash it well, slice it thinly, and let it sit for about 10 minutes before blending. This activates enzymes that support liver function. Add the juice of half a lemon, a thumb-sized piece of fresh turmeric root, or 1 teaspoon of organic turmeric powder, and just a pinch of freshly ground black pepper. Blend with a cup of filtered water and consume it on an empty stomach in the morning, ideally 30 minutes before breakfast. Do this 2 to 3 times a week. This timing allows your liver to absorb the nutrients more effectively without interference from other foods. What you'll notice after a few days isn't just lighter digestion or clearer skin. You may feel a renewed sense of energy, more mental clarity, and even improved sleep. All signs that your liver is finally getting the support it has long needed. For even better results, combine this routine with a nighttime herbal tea using dandelion root or boldo leaves. These herbs promote bile flow and gently stimulate the liver's natural detoxification processes during sleep. Sip it 1 hour before bed to avoid any disruption to your rest. And if you want to go one step further, consider integrating what's known as a liver-friendly fasting window. This isn't about extreme fasting. It's simply about giving your liver space to do its work without interruption. Stop eating at least 3 hours before bedtime and allow a 12 to 14-hour gap before your first meal the next day. During this time, your liver performs its deepest repair. These 3 simple steps, the morning elixir, the evening herbal tea, and the fasting window, create a rhythm, a flow, a cycle of support that honors the liver's natural role in your body. It's not a cleanse, it's not a crash diet, it's a lifestyle, one that you can sustain and feel proud of. The beauty of this approach is its simplicity. It doesn't require you to buy expensive supplements or follow complicated protocols. It meets you where you are, using ingredients you can find in any grocery store, in any part of the world, and it aligns with the body's wisdom rather than trying to override it. So if you've ever felt like your health goals were out of reach, let this be your reminder. Healing begins with understanding, but it becomes real through action, small, meaningful action. Every time you prepare this liver-loving drink, you're not just nourishing your body, you're reclaiming your vitality. And now, as promised, here is the bonus tip that can take everything you've learned even further. It's simple, but often overlooked. Chew your food thoroughly. It might sound too basic to matter, but digestion begins in the mouth. When you chew well, you reduce the burden on your stomach and liver, improve nutrient absorption, and prevent fermentation and gas in the gut. By chewing slowly and intentionally, you also activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the state your body needs to be in for healing and detox to occur. It's one of the easiest yet most powerful things you can do to support your liver daily. So now you have the full picture. The right foods, the right combinations, the right preparation, and the right rhythm. Your liver is ready to thrive. Your body is ready to respond. And your life is ready to shift toward more energy, more clarity, and more balance. Take what you've learned and apply it with consistency. And if this message has helped you, consider sharing it with someone you care about. Because when we help others care for their health, we contribute to a better, stronger, more vibrant world. Your liver doesn't ask for much, just your attention, your respect, and your support. Give it that, and it will give you back so much more.